Hall of Fame.
Friends call her magic.
Hall of Fame.
One of the greatest basketball minds.
How about that?
Woohoo! She is back, the icon, the Hall of Famer, does some work with OKC. Just really a staple in the basketball world. Nancy Leiberman is here. I'm happy you were able to join us this week. I know last week was a hot mess for all of us. The good news is, since we had you on, a lot has happened in the world of WNBA. Chennedy Carter just threw everyone into a tizzy. We've not stopped talking about it for 3 straight days. I want to start with really the foul itself, because that's where this all started. Some people had an issue with it, some people didn't. What did you see in the foul on Caitlin Clark?
Well, I mean, if I were Caitlin Clark, I would have punched her in the face. But I'm from New York, and I would have told her to fuck off.
Yeah.
And that would actually cure the problem, because I've known Chennedy since she was in high school here in Dallas. She's a tough kid. She's a really good basketball player. She's going to come after you because she's very physical, which is okay.
Yeah.
But damn, where's Caitlin Clark's teammates? I'd be pissed as shit at my teammates that nobody came to my defense. You know, Gretzky had an enforcer. Michael Jordan had Oakley. I mean, that's honestly, it's just bullshit. This has to be better. Indiana has to be better. Somebody has to come to this kid's, I don't want to say rescue,
Right.
but you guys know this better than
Defense.
anybody, Michelle, as well. In 1984, when Michael Jordan came into the league, he changed the economics of the league financially, with the GLA, with all the TV contracts. He was on TV every game. Arenas were filled. When Tiger Woods was tearing up the PGA when he first started, he changed the PGA world for every golfer financially. And, you know, people need to thank Caitlin Clark for being that generational athlete that is making them wealthy. They will have generational wealth. They would not have airplanes, charter jets without her. They wouldn't have been on, TV. And I know the W has worked hard over the last 27, 28 years, but they weren't doing this with all the greats, with the Hall of Famers, with Lisa, with Taurasi, with Bird. It was still sporadic, with some of the greatest players in the game. But Caitlin has caught the interest of the common person, both women, men, children, and we need to celebrate her, not tolerate her. She's a great kid. She's like LeBron. She doesn't want to, mix it up with people, although she could, but, they don't want to hurt their image. But somebody needs to do something. Look, back in 1997, I was a 39-year-old rookie for the Phoenix Mercury in the W. And there was a player in New York, Rhonda Blades. She played at Vanderbilt. Rhonda called me. She goes, man, Spoon is jacking me every day in practice, Teresa Weatherspoon, who I adore. And I said, Rhonda, if you're going to let Teresa knock and beat the crap out of you every day, she's going to do it the whole season. Next time she does it, punch her in the face. And it'll never happen again. And maybe I'm a street kid from New York, and I had to do that. Look, when I played for the Lakers and Pat Riley in 1980 in Summer League, in my first practice, legendary Pat Riley 3-hour practice, the guys were very physical with me. I mean, Lou, Chandler, you guys are big, strong, and I was getting roughed up. And I started 2 fist fights in practice, and nobody ever touched me again.
So is this something? So is this something, if you're the head coach of the Fever, are you saying, okay, if you're a team, no more. If they put her on her ass, you put her on her ass harder, and that's going to be the message going forward?
Well, now, the answer is yes, Chandler. My first year coaching in the league, I never had a technical foul in the WNBA as a coach. And Doug Collins called me down to his office, and he goes, hey, you got to go up there and you got to get Tom Wilson to put 25 T's in your contract. And I went, why? He goes, because your players got to know you got their back, and you're going to have to take some T's. I just did not know this. I started yelling at the officials just for the hell of it. So my players thought that I was there for them, even though I thought some of my players were idiots. But I was like, you can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. You're going to need to give me a T. And it's just the way it went. So, yeah, coach is going to have to take some T's. She's going to have to talk to some of her players and say, do not let that happen again. And that's just the way of the world. You got to have somebody protecting your superstar, and she is a superstar. But there's a lot of jealousy, and as much as I love women and love the game, we got to stop being petty with each other. We need to celebrate her, not tolerate her.
It's a tale as old as time. I'm curious what you think. Like Lou's obviously entrenched in the women's game. I'm new, so I'm becoming a fan with everybody else at the same time. I'm also sitting back and watching a lot of experts who have a lot of opinions on things. So you know this league better than anyone. What is your opinion on what sort of transpired over the course of the last several days in this industry, the sports media world?
Well, if we're still talking about Caitlin Clark, I think the world is in a really bad place. I think, we wake up and we're protesting about things we don't even know what we're protesting about. I think people are trying to divide us. I'm not for segregation. I'm for inclusion. And I just think we're pitting people against each other. We're actually pitting minorities against minorities, which is really sad. So I think we have to take a step back and take a breath. What is it that we're trying to get out of this thing called a career? At best, you get maybe 20 years. Sue Bird, Taurasi, they're an anomaly. I played a 39 and 50. I'm an anomaly. But what are we trying to get out of this? And we have to do this together, because nobody who's great has ever done anything by themselves. So the league is doing great stuff, but they're making so many things racial at this point. And I think we just have to, if there's a Larry Bird, he's a great white hope. If there's in boxing, if a guy comes along, he's a great white hope. I was not the great white hope. I was just a baller. Okay. And if we would just take away, the shades that we're throwing at each other with color, and we're just ballers, we're just trying to play. We're one injury away from not being who we are. Larry Bird said this to me one time. He goes, I'm the greatest player in the world when I'm on the court, but when I'm on the bench, that guy in the stands is just as good as me. So I just think we need to work hard. We're in a business. Okay. This is not a girls' club. It's not a boys' club. This is business. We're in $1 trillion industry, and we have to grow it together. And we can, but we have to see a bigger picture.
Thank you. Very, very, very well said.